Okay, so we're gonna do a sell example on this one. This is Aussie New Zealand for the daily. So we're gonna continue to gauge the momentum with that understanding. So to do a sell, again, we're gonna do first looking at the buyers to understand where the buyers faded before we can understand the sells, right? So first let's do the areas like we learned last week, right? For buyers and sellers. So here we go. We have a higher high, higher low sequence, and then no higher high here. So it's still the same spot. I'm going to do it from here so you guys can see it. So this is where it broke. He went higher, went lower, never went higher, went lower, and then he went higher. So the line shifts to here. Okay, that's the new spot. And the starting point for this is here. Okay, notice that this is still within this zone. So the starting point is here, and that's the new higher high. After that, he never made a higher high ever. He just kept going inside that area, right? So once that kept happening again and again and again and again, finally the market comes down crashing here, and we're like, okay, he's still in buyer's area, and then he crashes below. Okay, once he crashes below, we're like, okay, it's still not sellers yet. It's still buyer's territory until he can break this guy, right? Now that he comes down, breaks below, and then he tries to challenge it and he starts going through it, we're like, well, is that a sell? Is that a buy? Is that a buyer's territory? Is that a seller's territory? Well, look at the momentum. Look at the speed of the sellers coming down in this area, right? So this is the turning point of the market. Now, the only thing that's going to confirm it is if we fly right back up. If we fly right back up, that means we're just back into the range. And this low just never happened. It was just a faker. But, so we're watching this carefully, and this is where fading comes useful. Watch this as this comes down to challenge this guy. Watch as the buyers reattempt. So, rubber band man. Here goes the buyer. Boom. Very hard to recent SNR. Rest. Tiny. Okay? 15%, 20%. Pushes up more. This time takes longer to push. Takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles, right? Compared to before, just few candles and he's up there. 6 candles to push a little bit further, pulls back 20%. Okay, very minor. Then he barely pushes up more. It takes him 4 candles to make just a slight higher high, but then he rests almost 100%. That's 90% rest. He pushes up one more time. No higher high again. If I can put a line right here so you can see this. No higher high again. And then he comes crashing down right there. So it's like, okay. So if I were to understand all this, this buy never held up here. Right? Because it's buy, hold, buy, hold, buy. And then the crash starts to happen. As the crash starts to happen, and then he doesn't make a higher high but crashes once again, which is not even 100% retracement, it's 200% retracement. That tells you we're probably stepping into the seller's territory, because notice where this area is. It's back around that purple line, and it's showing you the buyers are dead. Buyers are dead, the rubber band man is exhausted, and we are understanding this area as, is this area still buyer's zone or not? Okay, so looking at how strong it's coming down, we can start to gauge that, okay, looks like the momentum is very, very powerful. And then the sell starts to take place. It starts to take over. Now, the sell, look how far it goes down to here. Why? This is the same spot as earlier to know, is this seller's area or is it a buyer's area? The buyer's reattempt. Up, big retracement. Up, small retracement. Okay, no higher high. Doesn't mean it's dead yet. Up, no higher high. It's a faker. And he comes right back down. It's like, that's it. He's done for it. Because he couldn't even make it up to there. He's only reacting down from this area is because people are still looking at this as a buyer zone. The professionals are still looking at this as a buyer zone. Hence, the market gets to move. The average professional individual who calls himself a professional cannot move the market. Okay? And with all due respect to that guy, let him push. Let him do whatever he can. That's good. You know, the more you try, the more you learn. The more you learn, the more you get better. That's okay. So, but when you see all these statistics of what's going on, you try to understand and get the story right, you start to get an idea that he keeps failing. He keeps failing. The momentum keeps dying out. If it's dying out the second time, notice what's also happening. We're getting lower and lower and lower. We're fighting this thing. Okay, now your profit scale is shrinking, but at the same time, it's trying to show you that maybe we can break through. Let's move it forward. Right there again, it bounces back. Right there again, it bounces back. It's almost like if that was his 100% or 200% retracement, last try, once again, bounce off this area. So if you're in this trade, your exits are already there. Or if you're doing it with multiple positions, half your positions out, the other positions at break even, blah, blah, blah. The second attempt happens. Goes strong up, pulls back minor, goes strong up, no higher high, pulls back 100%. Push forward, holding, and it goes north. So 2 opportunities only in this one. We're looking at an opportunity here. We're looking at an opportunity here. But do you notice when you did this fading aspect, you were able to gauge where you should be getting in, but without having a clear understanding of what you learned last week of this is still buyer's territory, this can be very dangerous to sell against the flow. Okay, so I wanted to throw this oddball at you today to be like, can you react normally when the market gives you something you were not expecting? Okay, so when this happens, I want you to keep close attention. Like, oh yeah, well, I was expecting a sell, but then the buy came in. I mean, I did make some profit out of that, but then when the buy came in, it's like, huh? Why is it going so long? Well, because this guy never gave up his ball. And that's the bigger guy, right? These are just minute fading, minute momentums. But this is the main guy holding the grounds. Okay? So we were concentrating on the sell side, and there is still profit on the sell side. But if you want to make it in a healthy way, you want to be sustainable in Forex, go with the buy side. Go with the buy side. Fade the sellers and go with the buys. Okay? So let's go on to the next example and let's see how well you think of stuff like that.